Well, it's our briefing with the Chief Minister, and I know you talk about small countries. We've actually covered that already, and the CBI love the Isle of Man, or it appears to be certainly something going the right way. You must be pleased with those comments, first of all.
Yes, we've had a very successful week as far as that's concerned. I have met John Cridlin now on a number of occasions, the General Secretary Director General of the CBI. He is a key spokesman in the United Kingdom representing British business. He has the ear of both David Cameron and George Osborne on a very regular basis, and to persuade him to come to the Isle of Man to get a better understanding of what the Isle of Man's position is on many current issues, I think has been very beneficial. He has been very, very supportive, very positive of the Isle of Man, and I think has gone away with both a good feeling for the island and also an offer to give us all the help we can. So it's been a very good outcome.
But does it go down the channel and say the same thing there? I mean, are we better or worse than...
I don't know. He obviously didn't go into comparisons between us, and I don't think we need to in that situation. The fact is that he's been to the Isle of Man, he liked what he saw, he's had some very positive meetings while he's been here, and has gone away with a very positive impression, which can only be good for the Isle of Man and Isle of Man business in the time ahead.
Okay. This week saw the launch of this sort of the Manx WikiLeaks website. You're pulling a face there. What's that say? Do we need this, or is this going to come up with some revelations, or are you worried about it?
It's interesting that a group of people felt it necessary to set up Manx Leaks whilst remaining totally anonymous themselves. I find it hard to understand that this constant drive for greater and greater transparency that's driven by people who insist on remaining totally anonymous. If we want openness and transparency, it's got to be all round. I still am at a loss to understand what the conspiracy theorists think government is hiding, because we have a perfectly adequate code of practice which has enabled virtually all applicants to government for information to have that information given to them. The Freedom of Information Bill, which will enshrine the code of practice in law, is on the way and will be in the House of Keys for consideration in the autumn. And we have, across all departments, ensured that there's more information now out in the public arena than has ever been in the Isle of Man's history. So yes, it's all a bit of fun. It's following WikiLeaks, and no doubt the conspiracy theorists will believe that they can unearth all sorts of things.
I think the difference is they want actual documentation, don't they? They want leaks of actual hard copies of material, whereas the Manx forums is just people having their say anonymously.
In both cases, it's all anonymous. If people intend to be taken seriously, they have to come out in public and declare who they are and what they're interested in. Otherwise, they can't be taken seriously.
Okay. Let's talk about Alf Cannan for a second, and the goings on with the Cabinet Office. He's not happy with what's going on here. You're making yourself too bloated and big, and extra jobs are coming in and costing the taxpayer. It
is incredibly demoralising to see this sort of nonsense being pushed out. It's populist opportunism which is driving this. The overall cost of these changes has not incurred any extra cost whatsoever. It's all within the existing budget. It's all within the existing head count. What we've done is restructured the Cabinet Office. We have brought the Economic Advisors Division into the Cabinet Office. The new post, which has been advertised, is a revamp of the Economic Advisors post with the Economic Advisors salary. So there's no extra cost, no extra post being created. And the Beeman's report, which I commissioned some time ago to investigate a more appropriate management structure for the Chief Secretary's office, actually, was in fact initially approved by Mr. Cannan when he was chairman of the Civil Service Commission, so he knew all about it anyway. This sort of opportunist headline chasing, I despair of, quite honestly. We are trying to progress a mature government committed to providing services for our public, and in particular committed to long-term strategic planning for this island. This opportunist headline chasing does not help the debate in any way at all. It demeans it, and it completely undermines what the true position is. And I want to emphasise the fact there is no extra money being allocated for these posts. There are no extra posts being allocated for the Chief Secretary's office. It is simply a realignment and restructuring of what we already have.
Okay. Well, the cuts you say go on. I mean, we've had the fire chief and the chief constable talk about their thing and how it's going to hit front lines. Have you got any comments on this? When will the public feel it?
Well, the restructuring of the police force is a further step in the modernisation of the police force. It's not just driven by cuts. The proposals which are being put forward now by the chief constable were in fact put to me in 1996 or 7 by Robin Oak when he was chief constable, because he believed that was the best way for the island. So this isn't a new idea. It's simply a continuation of the belief that's existed in the police force over that period.
But there are going to be cuts in the actual
there will be,
buildings, for instance,
yes,
people.
But you know, we have to recognise time moves on. At one point, every village on the Isle of Man had its police house, and now I think they've virtually all been closed. The chief constable is a very sound individual. He's done an absolutely outstanding job over the last few years in his various different posts. I have a 100% confidence in him and his views. He would not knowingly jeopardise the process of support for law and order on this island if he felt it was actually going to be damaging.
But if there's a big, like a murder case, you know, something big, or a sunland for the fire brigade, you know.
Yeah, of course, if exceptional circumstances occur, then we will have to look at taking appropriate action. We have been in this situation before. The reason we ended up in the Lower Douglas police station in Lord Street was precisely because it occurred when I was Minister of Home Affairs. We had, I think, 2 or 3 different murders going on all at the same time, and simply the space that was available in police headquarters ran out, and we had to get extra space. That was why that was brought on in the first place, to help. So things do change from time to time. Yes, we will have pinch points, you know, but we will continue our support for the police. They do an outstanding job, and the plans at the moment is for a downsizing, but it's a reflection of the direction of travel for the long-term structure of the police.
Yeah, there's a new cell block on the horizon. I mean, there's money actually going out in all sorts of places. I mean, you think the promenade scheme will go ahead, presumably, and...
Yes, but the cell block, in part, is a reflection of the fact that Lower Douglas Police Station is being closed, because there are holding cells in there. It's simply expanding the facility in Douglas, so it's a realigning of what we've got. Yes, the promenade, I hope, will go ahead. It's part of the plan of refurbishing the whole of centre of Douglas, which in turn, in the medium term, I hope will start to generate new business coming into the Isle of Man. You can't, and I really don't know how many times I have to explain this, there is a world of difference between revenue expenditure and capital expenditure. The work which is done on the promenade will be to refurbish all that area, and I think most people accept that the work that's already been done over the last year or two is starting to improve the appearance of central Douglas. I've said on many occasions that the Isle of Man, to my own knowledge, has lost a considerable amount of business over the last 10-15 years because of the general shabby state of Douglas. If we're going to grow the economy, if we're going to improve the quality of life for people living here, we have to do these things.
You know, the biggest thing would be that potentially there's no horse trams next year. I mean, that'll probably cause more angst amongst certain people.
It may well do, but often improvements take place at a short-term cost. You know, we have an excellent example of that in Ramsey with the regeneration work that's going on. The shopping centre in Ramsey has been massively disrupted now for 2 years. We'll be finished that in the next month, and we will see substantial improvements, as we are already starting to see in the levels of business and attractiveness of the town. We have to have, on occasion, short-term pain for long-term gain. Okay.
You're coming up to the summer recess, although you'll probably say you're not going anywhere much, but I mean, government goes on, I know you said that, but you know, how do you think you're feeling about the state of the nation and government and where we're going?
We've had a difficult few weeks, there's no doubt about that, and that has given the impression that government has not been performing as well as it could do. If we take a more positive view on things, government has made massive strides forward over this last couple of years towards rebalancing the government's budget. That's been the key driver in this government's policies. We will be balanced the budget a year earlier. The economy is taking off now. We are seeing growth right across the whole of the economy. Unemployment is very, very low. So at that level, we are making real headway. But there are still problems. There always will be problems. What people forget is that the Isle of Man government is £1 billion business. Our gross expenditure every year is just short of £1 billion. Things on occasion will go wrong in a £1 billion business anywhere, and we just need to have a mechanism in place to correct where difficulties occur. But the broad strategy of government is working, it is delivering. We have protected most services. Yes, the public are feeling the pinch in terms of increased charges in some areas, but again, it is sadly short-term pain for long-term gain. In a couple of years, we will be through all this, and then we'll be able to restore many of the services that we've been concerned about.